Okay, so one thing I did figure out is as I was doing my upkeep, I did figure out that the storage capacity upgrade that we got for our storage tanks changed our maximum from 50 to 60. It's not huge. It's not like a monumental change. Not as big of a change as I was hoping it would be. I was hoping to get up to maybe 75. But hey, we were working toward better things one little bit at a time. I'm sure they've got more upgrades for us to find. Hello, Bless. Welcome on in. You ready for more treasure pod hunting? Our favorite pastime? Because that's what today is all about. So yeah, we have some saber plorts good to go. We also need to find our new slime. We still haven't found this other new slime. There were 2 added, but the second one is being kept secret. Because even in the update that they put out, the little update post saying like, here's the new update. So they have the saber slimes and redacted as the 2 new slime types that they listed for this update. So redacted could mean anything and could be anywhere. Without knowing what it is, hard to really say where we could actually find it. So here's what I'm thinking. As we are doing our treasure pod hunting, we'll just generally keep an eye out for anything that looks new. Any potentially new looking slimes. And if we don't find anything that looks like a new slime at all by the time that we've found all of the treasure pods that they added in the update, then I'll start kind of, looking into some other outside information to maybe give me a hint of where to look for the new slime. The one that isn't the saber slime. But yeah, so I'm going to do a quick round of upkeep here, and then we'll try to find our 3rd treasure pod in the conservatory, because we should still have... Yeah, we have 1 more we need to find here, and then we'll head to Powderfall Bluffs next. But yes, me losing my mind, we'll see how bad it gets. I will say, I'm glad I have the marked up maps from last time, so that we don't have to go through and find all of the treasure pods all over again. Now here's the thing. This also will help, if you think about it, this will help with the full release. Once I have everything marked out, I won't feel too bad about being able to just consult my own marked up maps. Like, I took the screenshots myself, I've marked up the locations myself. Having that for the full release of the game, and I would say that's no small advantage. To be able to just immediately say, oh yeah, I know where these things are, because I already found them leading up to the full release. Plus, we're also getting the benefit of being able to look through everything in an incremental kind of way. We don't have to find all of the treasure pods all at once. We're only looking for a certain number of them. But yeah, redacted. That's always fun terminology. I feel like we're gonna find a slime that belongs in the SCP Foundation. If anyone's familiar with that whole fictional universe, that fictional organization. It's an interesting one. Definitely not for the faint of heart, though. I will say, things regarding the SCP Foundation tend to be very I don't know what the right way to phrase it is. Extreme. Very potentially grim. So keep that in mind if you do end up searching for it. But I'd say there's some really good writing in the SCP universe. And if you're more of a if you like more of a auditory style, there is someone on YouTube called The Volgun. I believe it's, I'm trying to think, Volgun is how you spell it. They also do readings of some of the different entries on the SCP wiki. So if you're ever looking for some interesting reading material, definitely something to look into. I'm just trying to think of like how to give us a brief synopsis of what kind of stuff is there. Let's see, there's one of you there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, and then 2. What are you doing out here? Basically, the SCP Foundation, SCP stands for Secure, Contain, Protect, and SCP is a fictional, well, at least in the material itself it's fictional material, so yeah, a fictional secret organization that basically locates and contains, that's the name, various anomalous entities that exist just in the world. So one of the more commonly known SCPs would be it's very similar to it's got kind of like the Weeping Angel style of it only moves when you're not looking at it kind of thing. So they have an SCP that's like that. And basically what these articles do is they usually lay out like what the containment procedures are for each of these entities. They've all got their own designation numbers. So like the one I'm talking about, the statue as it's known, is SCP-173. So put you guys there. And it goes through like the containment procedures, so all the different things that need to be done to, you know, keep the entity contained so that it's not doing anything out in the rest of the world, that they can keep tabs on it and all that. And some of the stories are more grim than others. There is the occasional odd story that is oddly pleasant and is actually pretty interesting. Like most of them are interesting for different reasons. Because some of them are more scientifically written, some of them are more like short story style. Some of them are written from some of them explore very moral and philosophical concepts. And it's just like there's a lot of variety within the different entries that they've got. So I've been listening to those as well, recently. I mean, what else are you gonna do when you're jetting around the cosmos in No Man's Sky, getting that all figured out? Get this put away in here. Okay, let's get this over here. I forgot to dump the extra food in here. Those in there, okay. Alright, I'm gonna leave that alone. Alright, we got one more little area here. Yeah, bless. I actually have been meaning to ask. I heard, and I've gotten a little bit of hearsay from Jay starting up his own adventure in No Man's Sky. He shared a little bit with me, but I'm curious, like, what you've seen, if anything, of him playing so far. So I'm curious how he's coming along. Because I know I've been really enjoying my time getting back into learning the swing of things and getting everything figured out. At least in the early game. Let's see, I'm not feeding him these anymore, so I can just... I mean, if you happen to know what he's been up to. Oh, I've already filled these up. I need to be putting the fire ports in here. Sorry, I'm distracted. Distracted by the redacted. I wonder where we'd find that slime. Where would they put a new slime? Because I would think it would be somewhere in the new area if they added a new slime. I'm trying to think of what area we haven't been to yet. I will say the Powderfall Bluffs, the cave system is really easy to get lost in. Like, just being on top, like just the general overworld area where it's all snowy and stuff, that's not too hard to navigate around, especially compared to underground. It's really hard for me to find my way through the underground passageways, all the different tunnels and such. It's really difficult to remember where I have or haven't been. Since these guys just dropped some plorts, I may as well grab them and add them into the storage here. Getting there, 787. Looks like we should finally max out our puddle plorts here, so that's good. Okay, good. That was a bounce off the rim kind of shot there. One. No, I don't know if we're actually gonna quite finish this up. I do a lot of running around back and forth on games like this. It takes me a while to memorize the maps. Yeah, and it is really a very different experience from Slime Rancher 1 for sure. Because Slime Rancher 1 was very flat. It was mainly just lateral movement from point A to point B through most areas. This game has a lot more of like paths cross over and under each other, and they have a lot of intersections. It's really, you really kind of have to just run around to get a feel for how everything connects together. So it is very difficult to get a really proper idea of the layout of an area based off of this. Because I think it's also partially the art style a little bit, but just looking at a flat image of a map like this compared to the number of ways you can run under and over and around and through different things, it makes it very it's very difficult to navigate purely based on the map alone. And I would probably, I would pretty confidently say that that's likely by design. Like a world like this, you kind of want to go around and explore it anyway. So having a map having a map with too much detail might take away from that. Because that's the trade-off, because you're saying we need those 3D maps from Metroid, you know, like Metroid Prime and stuff. They have pretty interesting 3D maps. But the interesting thing about the Metroid maps is they are very detailed from a 3D modeling perspective, but they are wireframe maps. So you don't get a clear view of the environment in each room just based off of the general shape and location of the room. So you can see the shape of a room generally, you can see like the size and dimensions of the overall room, but you don't get this level of visual detail with Metroid Prime's maps. So there's a lot of trade-off back and forth. Would not be surprised if there was a treasure pod here at some point. Would not be surprised in the slightest. But yeah, I forgot to turn on. We are in treasure hunting mode now. Puddle plorts are usually the last stop on my upkeeping route. So now we're just looking for treasure pods. I don't think I'm gonna find anything up there because it won't let me climb that high. I'm curious if there's anything over there. Because you definitely can get over here. It does have solid collision, which is always nice. I'd hate to go over here and then just fall through the rock. That would be unfortunate. I also have to remember that I don't take fall damage in this game like I do in No Man's Sky whenever I use the jetpack there. I love how even just me turning kicks up these like pebbles. I'm turning so sharply on my heels that I'm grinding away at the stone underneath my feet. That can't be healthy. Those shoes are gonna wear out so quickly. Let's see, we had the drone up there. Nothing back there. I don't see anything underneath here. Boy, I'm really missing having a flashlight right about now. I wonder if they're gonna add that back in or not. Because that is one thing that I do sort of miss, is having a flashlight. Particularly for like those dark areas. Like being inside of caves, it'd be nice to have a flashlight so I can see things a little better. But I don't know. I don't know what their reasoning would be for not having it included up to this point. But yeah, it does feel strange. And I guess maybe part of it is just because I'm used to having it from the first game, even if I didn't think about it too much. It is weird to not have it be an option when it was there in the last game. And it's not like I notice it too regularly. I mainly notice it whenever there's a situation like that down there where it's like, oh, it's dark. It's like, it's dark and it's nighttime. So it would be nice to be able to just brighten up a little spot. Even just for a little bit. And just to have the option. So I don't know if it was something that they haven't figured out how they want to add it, or if it's something that it's going to be playing a different role in the game, and so they haven't sorted out the mechanics of it yet or something. Because they did say in their update post when they released Song of the Sabers that they were going to be working on some more gameplay features for future updates. So who knows? Maybe the flashlight does something more than just lighting up an area, and we just haven't gotten to see the fruits of their labor yet. I mean, I wouldn't rule it out as a possibility, because I have no idea what they're gonna, like, what they plan to add in the first place, features-wise. So, who knows? Who knows? Yeah, trying to find this treasure pot. I haven't seen anything yet, and I've been trying to fly around all these different structures here, all these formations, just to see if I can spot it anywhere. But I'm really not seeing anything here. So I feel pretty confident that it's not here, at least. I didn't see it down in that little cove area. We got some pretty darn good verticality, though. Could probably go even higher from here. Wonder if I could get all the way up there. Because just taking a look at the map, we found one over there in the tree, and that was a fruit flag as a decoration. And then we found one over here, that was the vegetable flag, also a decoration. So I'm trying to think what a matching third item would be. Would it be... Oh, that rock is very bright. Ah, my eyes! Do you think that they would have a fruits and vegetables flag as a decoration? Put them both together? I think it's possible. And the main reason I wanted to start looking over here first, one, I'm already, this is the end of my upkeep route, so I'm already over here anyway. But because it seemed like they were kind of going for a three branches sort of approach. So like they have one over here in this area, they had one over here for this area. So I thought they'd have something maybe over here for this whole area. I didn't notice anything. I wonder if maybe... maybe there's something on here? No, I don't see anything here. Because that over there is the coop area. That's where we found one already. So I don't think they would have one that close, because that right over there, that tree right there is where we found the treasure pod. So maybe that one? I'm trying to think of where this could be. I still can't shake the feeling that it's over here somewhere. Judging by the pattern, it feels like they would have it over this way. Let me try and get up here. Let me try and find some solid ground to land on. I hope that's solid ground. That's not solid ground. We might be going for a swim. Sometimes it's hard to tell what's physically present. So unfortunately, we might have to do a little bit of upkeep as a result. What are we looking at for supply? That's not too bad. We got time to go look a little bit more. You'll give it another look. Yeah, sometimes the collision is not quite what you would expect it to be based on the visual representation. But it's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. It just means we're gonna have to do a little bit of upkeep before we head out to the Powderfall Bluffs. I still want to go out and look at that area though, because I feel like that's probably someplace where they would have something hidden. Is it out there that I'm thinking? No, it's over that way. So I want to try and get up there. Can I get up here? Yeah, I can squeeze up here. So yeah, let me take this a bit smarter. Let me get my verticality from a safe angle, like over here. And I don't want to go out over to those just yet because it's going to be a little risky trying to get back. So let's try going over to these first. So we've been here, we've been to this one already, and we didn't see anything. We haven't been over there, though. I have to assume that since it's on the map, that hopefully it's got some collision. Okay. Not really seeing a treasure pod, though, which is a bit of bummer. Nope, that is a bummer. Wait. No, these rocks are kind of weird. They have like some divots in them. Sometimes the divots look like a treasure pod. But it's not. So now for the real fun part, we have to get back. Try to optimize my energy for distance. We can get back over there, no problem. Let's try going over those next. May as well clean up these puddle plorts while I'm here. Oh yeah, I lost some of my water because I fell in the ocean. So I have 14. I should have 16, right? Yeah, okay. So let me grab these real quick, because they're piling up. And I believe four plorts per puddle slime is their maximum that they'll hold. I think it's the same as the incinerators, where they have that kind of limit to them. So we'll dump these in here, and these can be sold now because we have filled up puddle plorts. So now the only plorts we don't have completely maxed out on storage are the fire plorts, which we're starting to get there. The saber plorts, which makes sense because they're brand new, and gold plorts, which also makes sense because they're rare. I did get the golden sure shot upgrade, so if we do manage to get any golden plorts from a gold slime, we should get twice as many, so that'll help with filling that up a little bit more. We do have some golden plorts, but I haven't put them into that storage, into that refinery. Just because with gold plorts, I'd like to be able to access them just in case. I don't know, it's probably a holdover from Slime Rancher 1. Like, what is this? This collision is very different from what I'm seeing. Just to prove a point. I swear, if they have a treasure pod all the way out here, I will be impressed. That they thought that anybody would even... Like, anyone on the... Like, I'm trying to think... They would probably be thinking from a more casual, friendly perspective, considering that this game is a very casual game by design. But imagine if they had one all the way out here. Like, you really have to make a proper effort to get out here. It's not super difficult to do, but how many people would go out of their way to go out here? Just on their own. Let me see, can I get up there? Maybe. Maybe I can. Yes, I can. Okay. I want verticality so I can get over there confidently. One thing I am kind of worried about in terms of them working on the new mechanics is I feel like they're probably going to want to get some of the newer mechanics and the new slime types and all that sort of stuff figured out before they start programming the drones into the game, or adapting them for the game, because the drones are going to need to be able to take actions on whatever mechanics are available, on the conservatory, basically. No treasure pods here either. Well, dang. Shoot, dang. And it is a long way to land. Whew, that was a close one. Oh, I was not sure we were going to make that. That was about as close as I could have possibly cut it, I think. And no treasure pods to be seen. So now I feel confident in saying that it's probably not here. But yeah, I'm worried that the drones aren't gonna be in the game for quite a while. Just because I can't imagine them wanting to retroactively mess with the drone's programming after the fact, having to basically patch in whatever new interactable items they would have that the drones could actually do things with. Which I totally get from a logistics perspective, but also kind of bums me out to think that that might happen from a I want to be able to explore, but I can't really feel too comfortable just exploring because the ranch is gonna fall into a state of disrepair in my absence. Which I definitely don't want to have happen if I can possibly avoid it. Drones would definitely make that a lot easier. But yeah, I remember it taking a while in the first game too, when it was going through its early access stuff. And people would auto their farms so quickly. Yeah, that's the thing. It is that's the thing. Actually, I remember I played Slime Rancher before they introduced the drones. And I actually made a post to their forums saying like, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if you could take the food items from the fruit trees and just kind of pipe them over to the corrals where the slimes are, so you could feed them automatically." And one of the someone from Monomi Park actually responded to it, saying that they didn't want people to automate too much. They didn't want to make the game too automatic. And then, lo and behold, the drones show up, and I'm like, and it's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, you automated the game. That was the thing I was saying I wanted. How dare you do the thing I wanted? But yeah, that was kind of an interesting thing where it's like, oh, I wonder how many other people had that same kind of thought, and they were like, oh yeah, I guess enough people want this feature, we could add it in. But yeah, I think, what was that in the original? What was that, like version 0.6 was the drone update or something? So if we generally assume a similar development timeline in terms of, patches for this game, we would still see 3 more updates between now and the drone update if they actually put it in at 0.6. So yeah, it definitely could be a while before we get the drones. On the other hand, since they've already programmed the drones before, they were in Slime Rancher 1, it's not technically a new feature. There is a possibility that it could come in sooner because they've already done it before. Though I don't know how much of the framework of the game has changed that they would need to retool the drones for. So, kind of a toss-up. It could take a long time, it could be a shorter time. Ultimately, like with a lot of things, we'll just have to wait and see. It is early access after all. So they're under no obligation to deliver everything up front. And like we've been kind of like I've been kind of talking about with them adding the treasure pods to areas we've already been to. I think it's interesting that they've kind of add things in that give you a reason to go back to areas that you've already kind of fully explored as part of a way to keep the early access interesting beyond just the scope of, oh yeah, there's a new area, but there's no real reason to go to the old areas again. With the treasure pods, they're giving you a reason to go back. They're giving you a reason to explore all the areas again. Or at least all the areas that they added new treasure pods into. Because I guess technically the opening fields area doesn't have any new treasure pods, from what I can tell. But there's still plenty to find with all the treasure pods in the new area, plus having 4 treasure pods in the Ember Valley, 4 treasure pods in the I can't remember, is it, my brain wants to say either Twilight or Starlight Strand. I feel like either one could work, but I know only one of them is technically correct, and I don't know right off the bat which one it is. And then also 3 treasure pods for the conservatory, so it's like there's definitely a lot. And then we also have the slime, the other slime type that we still haven't located. So that's also something we're gonna have to keep an eye out for. And I'm really trying to think, where would they have that? Where would they put a new slime if not in the new area? So we found the Saber slimes, that's pretty obvious where they are as part of the new area and all that. Why are you in here? You shouldn't be in there. Give me a second, I need to deal with these guys. I think it's because I must have had one of the chicks in there and it grew up into a roostro, because that is a possibility for any chick of any type to grow up into a roostro. I'm pretty sure that's possible. So that's probably what happened. Are there 10 of them in there? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think there are 10 in there, which works just fine for me. There are either 10 or 11 in there. Either way works just fine. I'll just put the rest of them in here so that these guys will have plenty of food to eat. This is getting pretty full. Like, it always stays about half full. It's pretty consistently at like that half full marker. But yeah, where would they put a new slime? Because I think I might, like, I don't even know if I've spoiled myself on what the new slime type is or not, just because it's a general slime design that people have, you know, created artistic interpretations of before Slime Rancher even existed, I'm sure. So I have no idea whether the slime type I've seen would even exists in this game right now. Or if that's something I just saw somebody be like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if they added this to the game, kind of thing. So I don't even know if I've spoiled myself or not. But even if I have, I still don't know where I would look for a slime of that type. So that in itself is kind of an interesting conundrum. So here's my theory. If I don't know if this matters too much. If I did accidentally spoil myself and I did figure out what slime type they did add in addition to the slime, to the Saber slimes, I still have no idea where to look for it. Because if it's the type of slime that I'm thinking it would be an egg yolk slime. Like an egg slime. And I have no idea. Well, maybe I have like maybe one idea of where I would look for that type of slime. That seems like something based on the egg theming that maybe would be in the Ember Valley somewhere. Because, you know, like you cook an egg, Ember Valley's got hot places. That's literally the only thing I could think in terms of like a solid starting location to look for them. That's literally all I could think of right off the bat. But I have no idea if that's even the slime type. Because like I said, I may have spoiled myself, but because I was trying to avoid spoilers, I don't know if that was someone talking about wouldn't it be cool if they added this, or if it was something they actually added. So that's fun. I have no idea whether I actually spoiled myself or not. Maybe we can gain the ability to have slimes lay eggs as a way of cloning them. I don't know though, because one of the things that I think is really interesting about this game is, I kind of touched on it in the last stream, but you really can kind of set your own pace in terms of how much or how little actual ranching you want to do. Because you can always go out to the different areas where you find the slimes and the resources just out in the wild, and you can gather your resources purely through exploration, or you can do something more akin to what I'm doing and have everything all put together into a singular location where you have to do some work to keep everything running and functional. But you have the convenience of having everything, you know, readily accessible and in pretty decent supply. So I don't know if there would really be a need to clone slimes or have like a slime breeding system, because it is very straightforward to just go out to a place, pick up a few extra slimes, and then bring them back if you really need them badly enough. So I guess that's something where it's like it could be interesting, but I would wonder how necessary it would be. And I wonder if they would implement something like that, or if it would be design-wise just not quite matching with the pacing and design philosophy of the game itself. I don't know. It's all purely theoretical. Okay, these guys are doing all right. Looks like they've hatched a lot of chicks, but nothing grown up yet, so we'll come back to that. Alright, we still have a treasure pod to find though, so if we're pretty confident saying that it's not over in the cove area, I did a pretty decent loop around of the area where the whole incinerator slime setup is. I don't see anything over there, so I'm inclined to say that we've handled this area pretty well. I feel like we're okay on this, which doesn't quite match up with the pattern I was observing based on the other two, but that's fine. Nothing says that they have to follow a pattern perfectly. In fact, it might even be more advantageous for them if they specifically break up that pattern, defy the expectation, and make finding this third treasure pod that much more interesting. Because it would, if it's somewhere where people wouldn't quite expect, doesn't that make it all the more interesting to find it? I would argue that it can. Then that just does leave us with one more question that we ultimately will want to answer. Where is that third treasure pod? Because if we go out too far this way, this starts to become... This transforms from the conservatory over to the Rainbow Fields, where, for the record, there are no new treasure pods to find. So this little series of archways here is basically our boundary between the observatory, or conservatory rather, and the Rainbow Fields. Well, this was a little bit Rainbow Fields too. But yeah, we don't need to go too far in that direction, so we should stay over this way. Yeah, I guess it would also make sense for them to put a new slime toward the Ember Valley area, because the Ember Valley is how you access the Powderfall Bluffs. So it would make some level of sense that they would possibly add something new there, since you have to go there to get to the new area anyway. So I think that puts a couple of points toward exploring the Ember Valley some more, which we're already going to be doing that, because there's still 2 more treasure pods for us to find there. So here's the one that we found first at the conservatory. So there's that. And that's just out back behind this this little tunnel area where we have our caves. Our cave stuff is here. Six there, put 1 in the incinerator. Okay, so I feel pretty confident that they wouldn't hide another treasure pod too close to here. But I feel like everything's leading back to pointing toward that area that we already cleared out. I feel like it all kind of leads back to... kind of leads back up to the northern area. But we already explored so much of this and didn't find anything. And like, practically speaking, that's what the pattern would imply. I guess I'll give this area one more flyover. Since we're here. Because there's the second treasure pod that we found. And I feel like... Okay, pattern. We go out to the extremes of that extension. We go out to the extremes, we find a treasure pod. We go out to the extremes, we find a treasure pod. We go out to the extremes. This area is a little more nebulous because there's a bunch of different areas that could be considered extremes. I think that's my main concern with that area, is that there's just... It's not really fully clear which one of these would be considered the extreme, because we went out here, didn't see anything. We went out here, didn't see anything. So the only thing I could think is if we can reach whatever this is, if that's not too tall, maybe it would be there. But I have no idea. And considering how long it's taking me just to find this one, has me concerned about how long the other ones are going to take. Something tells me we might have to do well, I guess at least a multi-parter of treasure pod hunting. Because it seems like they just don't like to be found quite that easily. Which I have no problem with. So let's real quick do a little bit of reconnaissance here. I want to go check that gray spot on the map and see how tall of a structure that is. I keep saying structure, I mean formation. So let's see, what are we looking at? So yeah, there's that. Oh, it's off of that area. Oh, well, excuse me, I ran way too far past it. Pardon me, let me go back then. Now, at the very least, we're getting a bunch of fire slime plorts, which is good. Let me just take care of these real quick. Oop, excuse me. 12 from you. I just like to clear these out. Kind of have to clear these out more regularly if you want to get the most out of them. That's the only reason I haven't really maxed these out very quickly, is because they require more constant supervision. They're not like the other slime types where you can just let 100 plorts build up in the collectors and then some, and then go collect everything. They only store so much. Okay, this thing, it's kind of a commitment to get out there. I don't think we're going to be able to get back to anything on solid ground if we go out there, which makes me think they wouldn't have a treasure pod out there. But you know what? For the sake of exploration, we gotta do it. Kind of scope out whether there's any sort of re-entry point. Doesn't look like it. Once we go out here, we're pretty much out here. Is there a treasure pod anywhere around here? Yeah, I don't see a way back. Maybe if we can get over there or to there. maybe one of those is solid enough that we could work our way around. Alright, no treasure pod out here. At least we now know. So now the question is, where haven't we looked? So I feel like we've covered pretty much everything. Okay, this is solid enough if I can get up on top and just sit here. I can recover some energy and we can keep going around this way. If I could get on top of this, that'd be ideal. Nice. We're getting somewhere. And hopefully that somewhere is back to land. Hey, I think we're good. Once we're up to here, I think we're totally fine. Look at that gorgeous sunrise, though. Stare directly at the sun. It's good for you. Give your retinas some vitamin D. Oh, I was thinking maybe there'd be a treasure pod in there. Oh, where haven't we looked? Oh no. Not the first one we're looking for. The other ones were so straightforward to find. This third one is really just like, nah, you're not gonna find me. You're not gonna find me. How could you possibly think that you could find me? Rawr. Hello, drone. Oh yeah, that whole retinas, vitamin D, yeah. Yeah, don't stare at the sun, kids. It's don't do that. Oh man, I have to remember to add my own vitamin D. D for disclaimer. I have to remember the things like that matter. Where is the treasure pod? It can't be this. It can't be like this on the first one that we look for. I mean, I'm just thankful we have plenty of other treasure pods that we could go look for, so that this isn't just like either we find this one or bust. I'm gonna go to the top of the conservatory. I'm gonna try and get up here. I'm gonna see if it's up here. I don't see a treasure pod in the tree. It's not in the tree. At least not on the top of the tree. Is it at the top of the conservatory? No. I don't know how far away you can see a treasure pod. Probably not this far away. It's not up here. You can really see the level of detail load in though. Yeah, I think I already checked up in the tree and I didn't see anything. We have new messages to read. Perch myself up here. 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 Yeah, I don't see anything up here. It's not in any of the planters, none of these hanging planters, is it? I think it might be time to go to a different area for a while. Kind of reset. Oh, we can make dead trees. Cool. Thanks, Mochi, that's great. Fantastic. Okay, I guess we're gonna go Powderfall Bluffs then. See what we can find here. Let me pull up the map for it. Let's see. Open with. Yeah, my real concern with this particular area with Powderfall Bluffs is that there's a lot of caves. So... Oh, never mind. I forgot the one I found by accident was the last one. Oops. That doesn't seem right. But I guess... Did we only have the one more to find? Huh. My brain, well, I can at least show where I came across it. Let's see, it was... Oh, it was back here. Okay, so because what I was doing while I was trying to stock up on resources in this area, I was busy getting lost in the winding cave system that this place has. And it was in here. I found this from inside the cave system, by the way, but you can get to it from outside. It's just right here. Yeah, I'd gone through a bunch of caves. So many caves. There's a lot of tunnels, a lot of caves. Very easy to get lost here. But I came over to there and accidentally stumbled across the treasure pod, and I was like, oops. But it was a decoration, so nothing monumental in there, at least. If that's any consolation. We found all the important stuff on stream. There just happened to be that one lingering treasure pod. I guess that means we're heading to old areas then. I kind of want to tackle the Ember Valley first. Partially because we only have 2 more pods to find there, but also because of the running theory that I have that it would be a likely location to find the other new slime that's not specifically tied to this area. Assuming that such is the case. So, let me... Because, like, we've seen these guys before. Boom slimes ain't nothing new. Because I'm not seeing anything else that's specifically new here. So I'm thinking maybe Ember Valley would be our best bet. And I do have that theory, but I don't know if that's gonna really pan out to anything. So we can find all the treasure pods we want here. Just dump those in there. Let me put this in my first inventory slot, just to keep it tidy. Okay. So what we can do is, because we have this portal here, we can just we can just go here. And we can be at the other side of the Ember Valley. That's one thing that's kind of nice about this portal setup. Is it's like, hey, you know what? We're here on, we're like midway through the Ember Valley, I think. Something like that. And we're basically like at the midway point of the valley. So if I had to guess, since this is the area where new stuff is, maybe they would add it up here in like the hot springs kind of area. Worth at least taking a look. Because this is where we found one of the new treasure pods, by the way. There's one behind the waterfall now, which I had said before would be a great hiding spot for it. So we have that. Let's see, which ones were new? So we found one there, and then we found one up here in this kind of ruins area that you're really meant to reach by going through Powderfall Bluffs and then taking that one way. It's not a one way. Taking that teleporter over to here. And that leads you to this upper cliff area. But me being the kind of explorer that I am, I saw that there was an area up there. So I just jetpacked my way up there before this update came out. So in terms of treasure pods, I'm highly suspect of this location in particular because there were no treasure pods here at all. And I personally think they would be crazy not to put any sort of treasure pod over there, with there being so many good spots. Like that entire area is just one great treasure pod hunting spot. If nothing else, it's a great treasure hunting spot. So I'm going to go see if there's anything over there. That's over that direction. So if there's only one treasure pod over here, or 0, because that's also a possibility, then I'm not entirely sure where we'd start looking for the remaining ones. But I at least want to take a look over here now, because there's definitely several spots where they could hide one. And I would be a fool not to look. Cause like there's this area down here. Ooh, what is that? That's new. I need an angler plort for that. That's new. That is 100% new. Hold on. That is definitely new. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Angler slime. Sea hen. Oh, you're feral, are you? Here, have a Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Not sponsored. Okay. We got our angler plort. Let's head back down there and see what this is all about, because this is definitely new. That wasn't there before. Make sure I have enough energy for this. Okay, let's... I heard something open. Maybe up above? I heard something open. It might have been on the other side. I heard it very quietly. Here. This area. A treasure pod. What? There we go. Oh, another sure shot module. So we can get another. We can get more golden plorts from gold slimes. Once we get that upgrade module installed. But hey, there's a treasure pod. Let me mark that on the map here. While I'm marking that, I see Twitch is going to run an ad here, so I'm going to mark this spot on the map, and then we'll keep looking for the other pod. So let me do that real quick. Alright, let me mark this. Where are you at? Oh, I don't have the map open. I need to open this map. Ember Valley map. Let's get that open. Make sure that it's yellow. Okay, where am I right now? Doesn't have the circle selected. Hello everyone, welcome back from the ad break. I'm just getting this marked in now. Ish. Okay, I got that one marked. So now we've only got one left to find. I'm not exactly sure where to look right off the bat. So we found one here, and one here. Maybe there's one over here? I don't know. Patterns can only help so much. It's not good to rely on patterns. Like, definitely take note of them. Oh. Lucky slime. Well, I don't have any meat to feed you. I'm sorry. I have nothing to offer for you. He usually just gives them money anyway. Not which isn't super helpful right now, considering that I already have more than enough money for basically anything I would need. You know, honestly, what I could do is, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of, like, if there are ways I could simplify the ranch while I'm gone. But my feeders are already down at the lowest setting. And I don't want to, like, waste food resources. Just because I'm not at the ranch for an extended period of time or something. Not sure how I want to tackle that. So what I was thinking is maybe I could just not have slimes around on the ranch while I'm gone, and I can just reacquire them, because I don't think that's usually too big of a deal. But I don't know. I feel like that might end up being more trouble than it's worth at the end of the day. Grab a little bit of radiant ore while I'm here. May as well. If there were any of those lava dust, these would be fine by me. Yeah, I kind of feel like maybe that would end up being too much trouble in the long run. So I'm just trying to think because I have to do so many different things when I get back to the ranch. No treasure pod down there. That it's kind of like daunting to go out away from the ranch for too long. Which is like, it's kind of my own fault to a certain extent, because I've made the ranch so complete to the point where it is kind of high maintenance. But I think the main part of it is also like with food items, because the plorts can stack up and it doesn't really matter, but with food items they eventually decay, so you won't come back to just a huge pile of food. So the food regularly decays, that becomes a little more challenging. To keep up with food supply is the main problem. But I don't know. I don't know how I want to deal with it. And combine everything with honey slimes, it wouldn't be so difficult. Fill up the corrals and then feed them various parts. I'm trying to think of how many corrals that would end up being, though, because I only have so many open spots right now. Because right now I have every slime type in the game is matched up with another slime type. Then again, it's that other thing where it's like, if I had drones, this wouldn't be nearly as much of a problem, because if the drones could take care of most of the back and forth kind of work, and I just have to make sure to go back and give them water, and that's a lot simpler than having to go grab the plorts, sell the plorts, grab the plorts, sell the plorts, grab food, put food in the feeders, and do that for every single corral. And that's one of those things where it's like, since I have pretty much every slime plort type maxed out in the storage, maybe I should just leave the ranch somewhat empty for now, because I have plenty of money, and just focus on the new ones. Maybe just try to store everything so that it's kind of put on pause for now. Remember this treasure pod? The one that took me forever to find? Yeah, good times. Have that one marked on the map for sure. No way I'm ever missing that one again. Yeah, I think that would probably be a good idea, is just get rid of some of the more basic slimes for sure. Like the cotton pink Largos that I have, I can grab those literally right outside the conservatory anyway. So I can just get those out. There were the 2 treasure pods in here. But yeah, that would let me explore more freely without having to worry that I'm leaving things unmanaged. Because right now I'm looking, but I'm also not being super careful with my looking, because it's like, oh, I need to go back to the ranch, I need to go back to the ranch. It's like constantly in the back of my mind. And it's like, I kind of want to just be able to look around. And that's another thing that's nice about the game is you can totally do that. You can reconfigure your setup anytime. It's like, as long as you've kind of saved up enough of resources, you have more or less flexibility to just retool your entire setup for the ranch and all that sort of stuff. So I think I need to actually give myself the leniency to do that. Because I think part of me is like, well, I've set everything up a certain way, so I should work on maintaining that. But maintaining it for what purpose? Like I said, I already maxed out the storage for all the plort types. I already gone through and I've sold a bunch of plorts to get a decent stash of money saved up. I have almost 250,000 new bucks saved up, which is definitely more than enough for the foreseeable future. So really, I don't need to have the slimes around. The only thing that's kind of unfortunate is just I have to think about storage wise what I want to do. I guess what I could do is I could spend some of my money if I'm willing to just kind of dump a bunch of money into a simple solution. Just replace the corrals with storage containers and store the food that would be in the feeders into those storage containers so that they don't spoil. And that way I don't have to try to refill the feeders slowly and gradually over time again. I would have to go back and re-upgrade entire corrals again, but I don't have to do it all at once. It's something that can also be done over time if I don't end up having enough money for whatever reason. I can just earn the money back. So I think I should go do that. I should probably go do that now, because there's gonna be plenty to clean up. And we still got one more treasure pod to find here, and I'm not sure where it would be. So we'll have to think about that. I do still have a couple of theories of places to look. Oh yeah, that's also smart thinking. Because I'm sitting here like, I'm just gonna replace every corral with a single storage unit and just put it there. But no, I could use the storage unit for more than one. So I think this will be the simplest place to start. So let me go deposit some things. We'll do a little quick upkeep round, because these are right at 60. Let's put these in here. Oh, new messages. I suppose we should read them. Oh, hey, it's Bob. Special delivery. Have a great chickens. More rocks. We'll see how many storage units I end up needing. But at the very least, I can just start with one at a time. I think that's the biggest thing. I just need to start one at a time. With everything being at this very far advanced level, there's a lot of things stacked on each other here. This one I think I'm gonna leave as it is, because it does have a somewhat self-sustaining food system. And this one would be kind of a pain to set up again. So I think I'll leave this one alone. But most of the other ones I think I'd be fine breaking down. Especially anything relating to crops. Anything that deals with chickens, I'm kind of hesitant to break down just because chickens are more unpredictable than the crops are. But we can, like I said, I just gotta start one at a time. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Just kind of break this down. Because the way I have it set up, there's never really a risk of having the plorts causing any sort of tar situation where I'm gonna come back to absolute catastrophe and disaster. So everything that should be fine in that regard. I don't think that'll be a problem. So like if I don't come back immediately and there's, you know, excess plorts in the corral, that should be fine. That should be totally fine. All right, time to set you free. Be free in the fields. Come here, buddy. Come here, bunny buddy. Wee. Go live your best life. Bonked his head on the ceiling. Oops. Sorry, buddy. You're gelatinous, so hopefully it doesn't hurt. I'll have to make sure that they actually kind of move a bit further out. I don't want them accidentally wandering back in and causing any issues. So I'll grab as many of these as I can hold. The rest will just kind of have to be on the ground for now. And then we'll break this down. Just demolish, yep. And then silo. Start with the food. And then we'll upgrade this for as many as we need. And the thing is, I do have some extra food storage in a couple of different places. But I think this will be all right, because if I really need pink and cotton stuff, they're just right out there. I don't think these guys will necessarily stick around forever. But like this area, literally you just have pink slimes right here. Cotton slimes are not very far further in. So I think we should be fine just leaving this as a silo for the foreseeable future. I think it was also me having everything here was kind of like, I guess it was like a posterity kind of thing, where it's like I have all the slime types on the ranch. But it's more trouble than it's worth for exploring. So let's start with that. I'll leave that one alone. The rock crystal largos, we can have these guys go. These guys can go find their way to the future. Alright, so let me pull the food out of here because the auto feeders are going to keep going. Drop it in there. Let's go put this over here. because here's the other nice thing too, is because all of this stuff is gonna be, you know, archived, I'm gonna have the archive of me streaming this and all that. I'll be able to look back on that in case I ever forget which slimes I had paired up with which types or where I had them. So I should be able to just reference that if I happen to forget where certain slimes go and all that. So that shouldn't be a problem. Or I could make a quick document. I don't think I'll forget. But even if I do, it shouldn't be too hard for me to kind of jog my memory on what I do or don't have here. Plus, with these old ones, with these ones here, since I already know that this is the pink cotton largos, you know what I could do, and this would be something that would probably be a smart idea for me to do as a fail-safe backup. What I could do is, because these plorts are in the auto collectors and nothing happens to them while they're in there, we can just leave one of each type of plort in there. That way I'll know for sure in-game which ones I had where, because there will be a plort of their type just hanging out inside of the corral. So I think that'll work as a way to kind of remind myself, because it's not like we need every single plort to be sold right now anyway, so that should be totally fine. I'll just fill this up to 100, and now we officially go to... I don't actually use these to feed the incinerators for the fire slimes. This is also another chicken setup, so I don't want to deconstruct it. So I'm gonna leave this one as it is. I think that should be fine. I guess I didn't need all of these, but just put them on there. And these all put back away. Okay, grab all of these. And the thing is, even though we'll still have some of them around, it is fewer total corrals that we have to kind of maintain. So we'll see if this frees up enough of the if this eases off enough pressure to be functional with also exploring, because I want to be able to really take my time looking for the treasure pods, because they can be in some really insidious locations sometimes. I'll just put the rest of them in here. Because the other thing with the chickens is that they don't really decay in the same way that the food item, that the like fruits and vegetables do. The fruits and the vegetables will eventually disappear once they're in this kind of like unusable state. Whereas the chickens, they'll grow old, they'll become the elderly versions of themselves, but they never just suddenly disappear or anything like that. So they're much better for long-term stocking up, as this corral will demonstrate very, very, very aptly. All right, I'm gonna keep these for feeding the incinerator. The roostros go in here. Thought they just poofed after their elderly cycle. You know, I guess I should say I'm not entirely sure. I've never seen one. I've never seen one actively disappear. And definitely not in the same way that the vegetables or the fruits do. But I don't know, maybe they do. Maybe they do and I just have never seen it. Wouldn't be surprised if that was a possibility. Because I will say, in Slime Rancher 1, I did not mess around with chickens a whole lot. Just because they were kind of a pain to deal with, and still kind of are. I don't think that's really changed. I've just gotten better at managing it now. Like, I think I'm doing pretty alright with keeping up with chickens. The only ones I'm kind of having trouble keeping up with are these briar hens, and I don't know why. I don't know why, but I seem to have trouble keeping up with them specifically. Alright, let me put these in here. Oh, this was one I wanted to probably get rid of too. I'm not entirely sure, because phosphors you can only really find them in caves or at night, so they're a little more selective to find. I think I'll leave these guys here. The boom baddies, though, we know where to find these, so we can get rid of these, which means, well, yeah, we'll get rid of them for now. We'll get rid of them for now. Just because, like I was saying, I have trouble, for some reason the briar hens are kind of a supply issue at the moment. So what I could do is I can let the briar hens kind of get back into full swing, because like, see here, I do have an extra stack of some different foods here, and then also a just a little bit of the briar hens here. But yeah, let me get these dealt with so I have some room in my inventory to move the briar hens over. But now that I've got a whole area dedicated to just raising chickens, I think I had like a little sort of setup over there. I had a coop set up just to try and raise briar hens here. But that was much earlier on. So let me deal with these. This should help reduce the amount of time I have to spend in each area, which is an important step in the right direction. Ideally, it would also be good for me to, I guess if I really wanted to try to free up as much as possible, I would make it so I didn't have to run over to certain areas right now. I think I should be alright with just lowering the amount of stuff that needs to be done in each area. I think that should be a good enough start. I'd get these guys. These guys I'm okay with leaving alone because they don't really ever seem to be a problem. The only thing that's kind of tough with them is that they only give you so much. They only let you stack up so much while you're gone. unlike the proper corrals, they only give you like, what I think, 3. You can only pick up 3. What is it? 3 plorts per slime in the incinerator. Same with the puddle slimes. I think that's right. I can't remember for sure, but there's definitely a limit to it. That's why I have an array of 3 other incinerators set up in that other area. But this should help free things up, make it less difficult for me to keep up with what's on the ranch, spend less time having to maintain the ranch and more time looking for these darn treasure pods. At the very least, if we don't find all the treasure pods today, which, judging by the amount of time we have, about, what, 2 more hours? We're about halfway through and we found one treasure pod? At least our future treasure pod hunting will be more streamlined. Some briar hens, definitely want these. Let's see. Now I could also slow this down a little bit on the front end by putting fewer hens in the pen, and that's something else I could consider with these guys. I'm just gonna leave 6 of them in there. How about that? Because what I can do is the chickens I'm not actively maintaining, I can just basically put them on hold for now. Full on these, so let's see. Let's put you in here. Put those in there. I have to consider the elders as well. Okay. Sometimes they escape. I wish we had an air net. An air net for the chicken coops would be great. That would definitely help to prevent a chicken uprising. Because we have air nets for the corrals that the slimes are in, but we don't have an air net for the chicken coops. It seems like it would be a really important feature to have. All right, I can slow these down a little bit as well. I think that should be all right. I'm not gonna take everything completely off. I'm just gonna kind of slowly tamp things down with the chickens. Okay, there's no elderly chickens to deal with there. These guys are okay for now. Leave them alone. Because I have all of the different... Oh, I can store these guys in here. Didn't realize there was more space in here. Because I have reserves set up just as like an emergency measure. And I think I was gonna set up... Yeah, Thunderclucks are gonna have to go in here because there's not really... There's only 3 per side. We have 4 chicken types now. So that sorting system doesn't really work. Okay. I think that should work for now. And then I think with these crops, we can just ignore them for the time being, because we don't need them for anything. Shove these guys in here. Put these guys over there. See, this is what I'm worried about. It's honestly my biggest concern, is just having them not kind of stick around where they're supposed to be. And that's honestly just a problem with this not having an air net. Really concerns me. But oh well. Let me put all the roosters in here. It's getting pretty full in there again. It's the way we like it. They're nice and happy in there. They're living their best life. All right. Let's see, how's your food supply? Yeah, Thunderclock hens, we definitely need to keep full production on these. Especially with this being a ringtail slime, that means there's not going to be any leftover food in the corral at any given point. Because that's how the ringtail slime works. Ringtail slime always eats. And this tree I'm just keeping here to use as fuel for the incinerators anyway, so it doesn't need to change at all. I think that should handle things pretty well. And since we also maxed out our supply of puddle plorts, I can just ignore the cove area for now, which eliminates a lot of running. So I think that should work just fine. Start shoving a bunch of fruit into the incinerators here. Just to get some resupply here. This one in particular is very low. I'm just gonna dump all the rest of the stuff in here because I don't need it anyway. Yeah, the fact that fire slimes only stack up so many plorts per incinerator is why I had another 3 of these set up here. Basically, since one can only hold so many, I figured having a larger number of incinerators to hold the limited number of plorts in them would be an okay solution. And I'd say with this setup, it's been alright. Once I actually have the fire plorts fully filled up, which shouldn't be too much longer, I'll probably take these down and just have the one in the cave. Because I don't really... Once I have the plort types maxed out, I don't actually end up using too many of them at once. So it's pretty easy to resupply just a little bit whenever I need to. So constant production isn't really a huge issue for me. So, oh, rainbow grass, that's nice. Well, thank you. So we got carrots, lettuce. I have more lettuce and heartbeats in here. We have some fruits here. We have some odds and ends here. And then I have, here's where my other 3 gold plorts are, which reminds me I should probably go check on the golden sure shot upgrade that we got. Let's see, we need 1 more sun sap, which I still don't know where to get. In all of my looking around in the Powderfall Bluffs, I never saw a place to get sunset, so I have no idea where we get it. And then 2 gold plorts, which I could just put in the... I can just put those in the refinery, since we're gonna need them. And then I assume that for the next upgrade, we're gonna need either 3 or 4. Regardless of whichever one it is, we're gonna need more. We're gonna need more gold plorts at some point. Which means I'm gonna have to go hunting for a gold slime. Or 2, depending on how they decide to cooperate. But yeah. So that should help. That should help kind of reduce the amount of work we need to do here. Since it took me a little bit to kind of plan everything out here, I might need to do a little bit of maintenance before we go. Just a quick round right here should be fine. And honestly, the worst comes to worst, if the slimes do run out of food, they don't die or anything, they just get kind of grumpy. So having this be partially shut down is also good in that way, where if they do manage to break out because they're, you know, grumpled or something, they're less likely to have any cross-contamination issues where they would then become the tar, and we would have that kind of problem. So with having them this far apart, even if they do break out, they're probably not going to be immediately on top of each other, which should be nice. Like the phosphor honey largos are pretty much alone in there, aside from the fire slimes. The ringtail saber largo is always on its own, minus the incinerators over there. Got these guys here, these guys there. I think we're pretty well set. So, let me roll up my sleeves here. Adjust my posture. And let's figure out where this final treasure pod is. Now, I know there wasn't one back here before, so I'm curious if there would be now. I'm not noticing anything over here. Yeah, okay. Still no treasure pod over here. I'll save you. Get a little bit of pocket change from that. There was a treasure pod down there we already found. Alright, let me consult my map real quick just to kind of get a sense of where we've found stuff before. Okay. I am seeing a couple of dead zones where there isn't really much marking. So I might start with those locations right off the bat and just see if they added anything in a previously unpopulated spot. So let's see, first place I kind of want to check is this general area here is pretty barren. So this little oval area doesn't really have much going on. So let's go take a look. Need to head up here, through here. So yeah, basically from the far end of this area leading into the waterfall zone, which would make sense considering that that's where new content is over there. Maybe they would hide something in here. kind of close to it. Perhaps, perhaps. In any case, doesn't hurt to check. So let's see. So yeah, we're kind of in the middle of the dead zone right now. Figure I start up high and then work my way down, because that's easier to fall down than to climb back up. So I'll just kind of take a look around here. I don't know if they'd have anything quite this far up, because I have to think about what would be what's part of the more so intended play area versus stuff like what I'm climbing right now, which is technically reachable but doesn't really have anything up here. Like there aren't resources for me to gather. There's no slimes, there's no like major decoration or anything like that. This is just geometry for the sake of you can see it, you can climb it. It's not just some landscape set piece that you can't actually climb up. It's like a step above window dressing, I guess. Because at least you can actually climb it. If it were just pure window dressing, you wouldn't be able to climb this. There would just be like a hard limit or boundary or something that would just keep you down lower or something like that. But like, that's a good sign. That's a good sign that we're in a place that's meant to be explored. Just having some slimes show up is usually a good sign. So let's see, we found a treasure pod pretty close to here already, so let's head back in this direction. Maybe a quick stop over the treasure pod over there, so I don't want to get too far that way. This song's a little bit trippy. Okay, there's definitely one. There's actually two treasure pods that we found over that way. No, they didn't put one in here. Let's grab the odd onion. There's not a treasure pod up on top of there. Alright, let's head toward that waterfall area. Because maybe there's something else. I feel like there were a couple of places over there that seemed like good candidates but never had anything. Because we have this one here. And then I believe that's one down there in that little alcove. But I don't really want to go down there right now. Another way of reaching that alcove. Let's see. Still nothing back here. This is kind of a random little area though. So I don't really fully expect them to have something there. Let's see, where else on this map? I mean, basically this whole waterfall area just doesn't have any treasure pods that I've found in it. I've only found treasure pods directly outside of it or in the neighboring caves. I feel like this wouldn't be a terrible spot for one to exist, just behind the waterfall. I feel like it's visual obfuscation that really works well for hiding these things. Which is why the nooks and crannies are really great places to search for them. Because they might not they're not necessarily difficult to reach. It's more so just a matter of visually finding them. That seems to largely be the challenge with them. Where else could they be, I wonder? I mean, if they put one treasure pod up in that area with the kind of hot springs sort of look to it, wouldn't be too crazy to think that maybe there's another one. Just in a different little nook or cranny. Like maybe they would have something up here. I feel like once you get too far up, that it's not really part of the intended area to be in. Yeah, that's the other thing, is like sometimes they are clustered. So it's hard to say for sure without completely re-examining every single area of the map. Which is something where it's kind of harder. It's like, in some ways it is definitely harder to go about it this way than it would be in, say, the full release of the game, where everything is just, it's already there. You already know that everything is placed. Everything is placed where it's placed, and you're not gonna have to retread old ground to find, you know, like new additions or things like what we're doing now. On the other hand, this is a little bit of extra legwork now to not have to do any of the legwork later, basically. Because like once we find all the treasure pods across all of the updates, two gold plorts. Nice. I just barely heard its little shimmering sound and I was like, hold on, I have something to shoot it with at least. Because you gotta have something in your inventory that you can actually, you know, hit them with. And that's what makes them drop the plorts. Oh. Ah. The shot arced a little differently than I thought it would. Man got launched by the geyser though. But yeah, once we have gone through and found all of the treasure pods across all the updates, we'll have our own personal complete map of where they all are. So we won't have to go and find them all again. Like, at most, we'll just have whatever treasure pods they decide to add between the final early access release and the full release of the game. Like this this totally would be an area where they would have a treasure pod. I'm pretty sure I would have said that last time too, like here or here. Like this is a treasure pod spot. Even though there isn't one here, that totally should be a treasure pod spot. But yeah, at worst, we'll have whatever extra little treasure pods they decide to add upon full release. But who knows how many treasure pods we'll have to look for once the full game actually comes out. At the very least, we'll have a good chunk of them already mapped out so we know where they are. So now at this point, since I don't know exactly where to look for these treasure pods, and because I obviously don't want to, look up a guide for them without having given a proper effort first, as Bless, you could definitely attest to that with that specific treasure pod. I do want to actually try and find the treasure pod through just looking for it before I consult any sort of guidance. And even then, it is nice to have someone like Bless around who can be a filter between just straight up having the answer and only having, a general hint of it, because that still provides some level of mystery and curiosity of like, where could it be? Because obviously we don't want to rush through these updates too quickly, because who knows how long it's going to be until the next one. Since we don't have a specific release schedule or anything, because the developers are a no rush. They're a no crunch time type of dev team. They don't have themselves set to a strict schedule. So updates come out when they're ready, not when the market deems it. And things like that. So that's always a nice thing where it's like, we may not know exactly when it's coming out, but when it does come out, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good quality. I'll go play Pokemon TCG with Jay for a bit. Oh, good luck. That is a world I never quite fully got into, but I did try a little bit. I understand the general mechanics of it. So either way, hope you have fun with that. I will miss you though, because this is the kind of madness that I know you enjoy so well. But at the very least, it will be archived, so you'll be able to retroactively enjoy as I've struggled to find the last treasure pod in every single area, because I think that's where this is kind of going. We've got one treasure pod left, an entire area to search. But yeah, I appreciate you coming in, Bless. I hope you have a good old time with some Pokemon TCG. Found that one. I'm really just trying to cover my bases here and just make sure I've looked everywhere with my own eyes again, rather than just trusting the map blindly and saying, well, I've already been here before and found a treasure pod here, because yeah, sometimes the treasure pods are a bit clustered. Like, they're not quite as far apart from each other as as one might assume. So we found one there. Get up here. Sorry, I just needed to check on my timer here. It looks like Twitch is about to run another ad here. Give me a chance to eat a little bit of a snack I prepared for myself in advance to fuel up for the last of this treasure pot hunting. So let me do that real quick while Twitch runs this ad. We will be right back. I'm gonna mute myself too. Alrighty. Okay. Now I should be set to start looking for treasure pods again. I just like to keep myself muted because I don't like to subject people to eating noises. Because I know for some people that's not a super pleasant experience. So I try to keep it to a minimum. But I could tell before I started today that I was gonna need a little bit of something partway through to kind of keep me going, so I went and prepared. I got myself a pork meat snack stick. I think something like that. Yeah, just something to kind of fill me up a little bit. Low radiant ore. I already have plenty of you. Lots of oil. I mainly just want the water. Okay. Alright, so now we're gonna check out this watery area, this kind of sandy cove zone. So we found that one. At this point, I don't think the map is gonna help me too much. The map is good for me to have and to keep track of where pods have been in the past. But because they're adding new treasure pods to areas I've already been, I don't want to get too reliant on just following the map. Because then I might just not look somewhere, and turns out that would be, have it turn out to be that was where the treasure pod was the whole time. Just found that one. Plus, it's probably good for me to go back to old areas every once in a while and just refamiliarize myself with the layout. Just so I don't get too far out of touch with it. So let's take a look. Some radiant ore. Is that there? Can't remember. Was there ever one up here? I don't think there used to ever be treasure pod over in this ancient ruins type area. So now I think we just have the one that we found earlier that's down there behind the Engler plort door. I don't think there's anything else here though. Sure doesn't look like there is. See anything else, so I'd say we head back this direction. Okay, there was the one that was in here. I already got that. Got that one that was in there. So where else? Where else could they have possibly hidden one? Oops. I'll slowly try to slide myself up there. I was doing it before. I just gotta stay on this side of it. This particular spot. Because I want to take a look from further up above. Because there's another treasure pod we found. Saw a couple of onions down here. I want to grab these. We already looked in this area pretty thoroughly. There's not really a whole lot of nooks and crannies down there specifically. I guess we didn't look super carefully in the caves yet over here. So let's check out the caves super quick. I think the other caves are the ones I probably want to check. Let's see. I said I wanted to be thorough, so I'm gonna make sure I check every cave. There's nothing here. There was the one up there, so I think... Well, I guess I can't say for sure. I gotta really make sure I check every aspect of this cave. Okay, that was the main spot I wanted to check, was back there. Doesn't seem like there's anything there. Let me check back here. Just to make sure there's nothing hanging out in one of these little spots. Okay. Alright, we do have a couple other caves to check out, though, that may or may not have something new. And if it's not in either of those caves, then I'll be at a bit of a loss of where to search next. It's one of those things where I don't want to bounce around too much between different areas, like different zones of the world when looking for these. So I feel like if I bounce around too much, then it's going to be less effective overall. Because then I'll forget some of the finer points of where I have or haven't already looked. And I'll be retreading I'll be more likely to retread old ground and not actually be looking anywhere new or useful, versus if I stick to one area for a longer, more extended period of time. Where I can just really dig down to every nook and cranny and just make absolutely sure that I've eliminated every possibility to the best of my ability. Oh, 2 onions. Where is this area? It's like back here, right? Yeah, it's like a little tucked away zone. No, the quakes are still happening. Interesting. I thought those would have gone away, but perhaps not. Go away, Mr. Grump. Grumpy tar, go away. So let's see, I need to check this area. Make sure there's nothing hanging out here. I did actually explore this underpass area, and I'm pretty sure you're not really supposed to go under there. It sure didn't seem like it was made for that. You know, it doesn't seem like it was made with that purpose in mind. Because it was difficult to get in there, and it was difficult to get back out, so I don't think I was really meant to go back there, but I did anyway. Where could these treasure pods be? So there's one back here. I remember that one. I'll say hunting down treasure pods is one of the things that definitely makes these updates last a lot longer. Because even after all was said and done with the original early access release content, the treasure pods definitely had us stick around for a while afterward. So would not surprise me if that happens again. And it seems like it is. Okay, we've been over here. So let me go back to the cave and explore the other half of it. Because there's still more to the cave that we haven't double checked. This area. There's nothing down there. There's this upper area where we found that treasure pod before. I don't think they'd add another one here since there's that one so close by. There's this one we already found. So that makes me think even more so that they wouldn't hide another treasure pod quite this close to where there are already two of them in pretty close proximity to each other. The only question is, what's left? What other places haven't been checked at this point? Because I feel like we've looked just about everywhere. I mean, we covered a pretty good amount of ground there. I mean, we've been to every area for sure, and done a pretty decent perimeter of all of them. But I don't know where this last one would be. I guess we could head back to the ranch for a bit and then take a look at the Starlight Strand area since we've just got the one left here. There is one treasure pod that we did find in the Starlight Strand, but I don't have it marked on the map for whatever reason. There used to be two of them, but we found one of them last time. So I did go back and mark it. So there should only be one unmarked but already located treasure pod in the Starlight Strand. So that leaves... Oh, hi. What are you doing up there? Get down from there. Let me put these gold plorts away real quick for safekeeping. We have messages to read. Hello, Ogden. Oh, we can make our own trellis. Nice. Alright, I need to grab some of these guys. Alright, whatever ones are still in there is fine. There's a lot of these. What are you doing out and about? I'm gonna just grab whatever is here and use it in the incinerators. I have no other use for it right now while those corrals are shut down. And there. Clean this up. So yeah, Starlight Strand. Whenever we do find a treasure pod that we've already opened, I'm gonna have to check the map and see if it's one that we've already marked or if it's the one that we're missing. Speaking of missing, we still got that other slime type that we haven't found yet. I say if we haven't seen any sign of it by, say, the last half hour of the stream or so, so give it like maybe well, I see the timer for the Twitch ads, so next time Twitch decides to next time Twitch needs to run an ad as far as my timer shows, I say that would be a good enough time for me to try and get a hint on where this other slime is. Because as of right now, I have no idea where to look for it. And I might have an idea of what it is, what type of slime, but I'm not for sure on that. So still remains to be seen, quite literally. But that'll be in about 40 minutes or so, so we've got some time. I want to dedicate some time to looking for treasure pods in the Starlight Strand so that we don't spend all of our time completely stuck not finding treasure pods. We can at least say that we've done a decent perimeter. Hopefully we can find something there without too much trouble, so we can say that we did something, made some progress in a more tangible way, beyond just, oh, we eliminated a lot of places where we know the treasure pods aren't. Hopefully be able to actually say, okay, here's where some of them are. We found some of them. That would be kind of nice. Let's see, I'll just shove the rest of these in here because I have plenty of spare items to toss into the incinerators here. Grab these out. And then of course, once I have the fire plorts maxed out. Oh, I didn't leave a plort of each type in here. Oops. I didn't follow my own advice. That should be alright. I should be able to remember based off of the cave theming that the baddie Largo goes in here. So that's the other thing, is I can look at what I have already and pretty easily determine what's missing. And since I already set up the ranch a certain way, I think those same patterns of thought should likely occur again to have me make the same connections twice. Everything here's pretty manageable except for you guys. You guys are starting to spill out for some reason. Why you being rude? Why you gotta be so rude? I think it's just these four, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Okay. That's all good. Everything else is still growing, so that should be okay. Alright, let me go put these. Actually need to go into the depot here. Alright. One more quick stop. And then we can head out to the Starlight Strand. Try to find some treasure pods. Actually, while I'm here, I need to fill this up. I'm not sure why I even bothered putting the hens in the depot. If I was just gonna put them directly in here. Force of habit, I suppose. Alright, the roosters need to go in there too. Durr. Okay, now we should be good to go into the next area and handle this. Oh, would you look at that? Completely maxed out, plus a bunch hanging out inside of the actual corral. Man, ringtail saber largo has been very prolific, which is one of the nice things about the ringtail. If you need a lot of a specific type of plort in addition to the ringtail, you can just cross it with the ringtail, and you can get more plorts than you usually would because it eats more frequently. So if you have enough food supply to keep up with it, it's definitely a good way to kind of rack up some additional plorts of a slime type that you might be behind on, or you might just not have as much of, which works great considering the where did that plort go? Oh, I got it. Okay. Which works great considering that the saber slime is new, so I haven't had as much time with it on the ranch just in general. So it's really helpful to be able to cross it with the constant appetite of the ringtail slime and be able to pretty quickly catch up on having it in ready supply. And this is just with one ringtail slime. Imagine if I had more of them in there. I mean, it's arguable how much extra benefit that would actually provide, considering that it's they'd be competing for food resources. Just imagine feeding multiples of them more constantly. Just end up with a lot of good stuff. Okay, I should be pretty much, if not completely maxed out on fire plorts after this. So we might be able to deconstruct these incinerators and this tree. We could trade this out for a coop and have more thunderclock hens for this guy. Because thunderclock hens are gonna be in desperate supply considering how much this guy eats. Might make the most sense. Let's see if we fill up here. I don't think we're gonna be quite filled up yet on fire plorts, but we're definitely closing in. One more round of those should be more than enough. I need to get rid of these anyway. I think I can just stop picking these up entirely because we have more than enough with the I could probably just pick up some of the leftover crops from just one of them to feed to the incinerator in the cave, and the pomegranates that we have here just are prolific enough that it should be fine. Now you had a bunch more for me to grab, right? Yeah. Gotta make sure I keep up with this guy. And then we'll head to the Starlight Strand and see if we can find any treasure pods. I don't think we found any yet, but we didn't look very much so far. We just barely dipped into there toward the end of the last stream. So we haven't really gotten to take a proper look through like the entire Starlight Strand area. How are we doing on saber plorts? Not too bad. We're about a quarter of the way to full. It's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. I'd say we're definitely not in short supply of pretty much anything other than the absolutely most rare ingredients. Which at this point, like, we have some strange diamonds. They're kind of hard to come across, but I know some spawn locations for them. So it's not too difficult for me to check for them. They just don't spawn very frequently. I mean, from what I can tell. And then Sunsap, I don't even know where to get this. I've only gotten it as a reward for feeding the Saber Gordo. I haven't actually found the resource location. I could stand to go for more resources, like oil, sand. Some of the stuff I just haven't gathered a whole lot of yet. And it's just because it's like a random spawn in the world, so you kind of have to just look for it. It's not something you can specifically farm on the ranch or anything like that, like you can with these guys. Plorts are easy. World resources, depending on what you're looking for, could be a little tougher. Oh, we can make our own short palms. Well, thank you. Alright. I think it's time for Starlight Strand then. And that should be this one. Okay. So we checked here and a little bit over here. Generally kind of looked around the coastline. But yeah, not too much. So this was one of the treasure pods that I hadn't marked before. Let me just pull up my map again. Since I don't think we're gonna need these, I'll pull this. So yeah, this was one of the treasure pods I hadn't marked before. So let me... This is a big area, by the way. Like this is a very big area for basically being the second area that I've ever went to. This is a huge area. There's a lot going on in the Starlight Strand. So if your first time here, it feels like there's a lot going on, and there's just like a lot to cover. Yeah, me too. There is a lot to cover. So we have this one. Did I marked that one. Okay. I'm just kind of following the main path to start with, because I don't really have any areas that I immediately suspect, like I did in the Ember Valley, where there were definitely some spots where I thought there should be treasure pods. If there were any spots I was like that with here, I don't remember them off the top of my head. Probably because I didn't spend quite as much time looking for treasure pods here the first time around. I will say the Ember Valley definitely got me a bit more for the long term. And the Ember Valley really had me like scouring for that last treasure pod for sure. So I don't see anything over there. Let me check this area. In here, here's one. Where are we on the map? Such a big area. Okay, so there's one also directly above us that I already marked. So I remember that. Further in here. There should be one right up here that we found. Right up there, I believe. Yep, and then there's also one, again, directly above us, I think. Is that right? No. I was looking at a different part of the map. Although, gotta remember not to take things for granted. Did they put anything over here? Oh, there's a strange diamond. That's nice. It's like I showed, I only have 8 of those right now. So any of those I can find is good to have. Good to have it. So I think we're all good here. Nothing to really see. Where does this lead out again? Ah, right, this area. Okay, let me think. There was only one treasure pod that I found here, so there may be something that they added out here. Perhaps. It's possible that they added something out here. Just take a look around. Maybe they put something out there. Because the one that I marked here is like way down here. Like way down here. In fact, my picture of the map of Starlight Strand is like, it technically cuts off right where I found a treasure pod. Because this area is just so big. It's so vertically oriented on the map too. So it's hard to get a good screenshot of it. All in like one screenshot. So let's see, the one that I found before is like right over here, right there. That one's marked. And this doesn't seem like area that's really you're meant to go to. But this is the outside of the labyrinth, isn't it? And I definitely could climb on that before. Did I just not remember being able to see the labyrinth from the Ember Valley? Now I'm starting to question whether it was visible before or not. I have no idea. I honestly have no idea. Oh well, I guess I'll just keep on looking around for the time being and not worry about it. Where on earth could these treasure pods be? Let's hop over here. Because there's another treasure pod down in here. Right there. No. No treasure pods up there. Let's see. Let's head through this way. Check the ground level. Don't see anything. We can deposit the diamond. The honey's harder to come across, so I'm gonna grab it while I can. The wax is more common, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Let's explore around up here. I think that's more honey. I'd like to grab that. That's more wax, so I'm not gonna worry about that. Not like how I can't really get back up that way. It's a little bit difficult. Let's take a look up here. Okay. Let's run through the cave real quick. I mean, really all I have to do with the treasure pod hunting is just look through every area again that I've already been to. Because maybe we'll find one. I think I haven't marked this one. Because I have one marked here, like between the two trees. But I don't have one marked right here. So we might have found our other unmarked one, which I suppose is a good thing. Circle tool is not selected for some reason. Don't know why that's the case. Let me fix that. Because I need to be able to draw a circle here. Something like that. Okay. So now I should have all of the ones I already found marked. Let me just double check up here at the trees real quick. I wonder if I could find any nectar while we're at it. See, here's the one I had marked at the twin trees here. So yeah, I think that other one was unmarked. Okay, so let me stick to the caves for a while. So we found that there. There's no other spots in here. This comes out here, right. What's over this way? Alright, let's check this grove area. Not going into any caves or anything just yet. Oof, you can tell when we're close to the experiment. Because the game starts to chug a little bit. Just a little bit. Let me see if I can show it here. Where is it at? It's up there. I'm trying to remember where it is. It's on the other side here. This place. Every time I come here, I can't help but just like, there are so many chickens here. There's also a treasure pod, which I've marked, but there's just so many chickens. It's honestly kind of crazy how many chickens just exist here. But I've left it there as untouched as I can, just to see how many they'll end up being. That seems to be at about its capacity right now. It's never really gotten any more extreme than that. Oh. Nectar. Nectar is also something that you can only gather wild. You can't farm it. So you have to come out here to this specific location. And there are some spawn points where you can find it. And that's why I like having something crossed with the flutter slime. Because the flutter slime can only eat nectar, as far as I'm aware. Or for sure, its favorite food is nectar, and it's just a lot to keep up with, to have to feed something with food that you can only find out in the wild like this. Something that you can't really ever have super easy access to. You like kind of have to go out of your way to get it. It's like, yeah, I'd rather just get and have it crossed with something else that has a much easier to acquire food. That's just me though. me take a look around here. Where are we on the map right now? We're over there. So yeah, we'll go back to the cove area later, perhaps. But for now, I say we've got this. Actually, this whole area is pretty clear of any treasure pod markings. So we might actually find something out here, potentially. Ooh, I actually made it up here. Nice. There's another nectar spot. I have to make sure not to get too distracted by trying to get nectar. So I can do that any old time. On stream or off. But we're here to try to find the treasure pods. Oh, there's a new one. Well, there you go. What's in the box? Golden Flutter statue. So it seems like most of the new pods that they added to old areas give you gold statues of one of the slime types in that area. So let me mark this here. It's like right on this tree. Perfect. All right, we finally got one treasure pod located. Delightful. Okay. So we got that. That does help kind of flesh out the map a bit with markings. That's like basically dead center in the kind of marking gap that we had for this area, so that does present me with a bit of a conundrum in terms of where to look from this point. I suppose we just keep heading around the way we were going. And just kind of keep an eye out for anything that looks suspect. Because we have one that we found up on the hill there, and then one that's underneath. Should be right over this way, right? Yeah, right here. And this leads out. There's another treasure pod over here. Right there. Just wanted to check and make sure there wasn't something on those outcroppings. You never know. You just never know. Especially when they're just adding new stuff. Let's see, we got another marking gap coming up here. So we could potentially find something over here. Just trying to keep an eye on the map on the side here to kind of gauge how likely it is that we'll come across a treasure pod when we get to different areas of the map. So this place definitely could have something hidden away. Something could get, I could tuck something away somewhere. I do love the new slime physics. They do feel more wiggly than they used to, which with slimes like this is probably a good thing. nectar while we're here. I'm not gonna look into that area just yet. Just want to get up. Here wouldn't be a bad spot to have one. This would be a pretty decent spot to have a treasure pod. Maybe they will sometime. They've already proven that they will use the spots that they've designed for themselves. I'm sure they've already got their hiding spots all figured out, and they're just slowly adding them, just adding the treasure pods in with each update, which is very smart of them to do. Let's see, anything else? I don't see any treasure pods down there, nothing up in the tree. Alright, next area then. Here, buddy, take a bath. You look dirty. There we go, problem solved. Alright, let's see, where do we have any treasure pods around here? Well, that area got some tars. Let me head over this way. So I can grab oh, that nectar was actually so old that it just evaporated when I tried to grab it. So I know that there's a treasure pod here we already got. So that's the one that's right there at that marking. Okay. There really wasn't anything over here? Felt like there should have been something between all of this. Maybe not yet. Maybe in another update they'll add something in there. So it's definitely a dead zone on the map where there isn't any treasure pod stuff happening. Come up here. Don't see anything there. Let's see, we have another one back there from going down into that cave. No need to go there, I wouldn't think. They usually don't have treasure pods just out in the open, so it makes sense that open areas wouldn't have one. Yeah, this is kind of a big open area with not too many little nooks and crannies to hide stuff in. So it would make sense to have this be kind of a dead zone. They wouldn't have a treasure pod just sitting out in the open with no visual cover whatsoever. Let's see. There's a treasure pod back here, I believe. Down here. It's above. Okay. Let me double check the ground level then. Okay, that's back where we were. So I need to go up here, let's say. Try to get up a little further here. So that's where we found that one. I want to take a look over this way. Yeah, there's the one we found before. Need to double check the... Oh, hey, Twitch is gonna run an ad. Cool. Well, I guess I'm gonna look for information on this other slime then. Because I have no idea where to find it. Let's see. Slime picture. 2 new slimes. Oh. Oh. Interesting. Okay, I need to actually do some research on this one because it seems a little more involved than I had originally anticipated. No. Like, it's not just that I didn't know where to look for this one, it's like it might actually be difficult to get it. Okay, okay. Interesting. Yeah, this new slime is gonna be really involved. Okay. Okay, so I know what we're dealing with now, and I don't know how long it would have taken me to find this out. So basically, I did accidentally spoil myself on what it was, but I don't know how much that really matters because, oh boy, it's apparently difficult to have it show up. It's one where it just has like a rare spawn chance. So basically, any of these nests, any hen nest out in the wild, has a chance. I don't know how low of a chance, but it has a chance of getting our new slime type in the mix. And yes, it is an egg slime, which makes sense why it would show up from a hen's nest. But getting it to spawn is just a matter of chance. It can happen at any of these nests, so I guess an area like this where you have a few of them all together is probably your best bet just by the sheer numbers. Just by having more nests around, I think you're just generally more likely to have one spawn, would be my guess. but I have no idea. This door is new. This door is new. Well, there's gotta be a plort in here then. Or treasure pod. I need a plort to open the door though. I have to figure out where that statue would be. Is it up top? Up there maybe? Eh, I can squeeze myself up here. It is, and it's a flutter plort no less. Well, we have another treasure pod on our hands then, I assume. I can just get a flutter slime to drop a plort for me. Let me keep a couple of different food types on me because I'm not sure what flutter slime I'm going to come across that I can feed. If I had a fruit right now, that'd be great. Because I could feed... No, that's a phosphor, never mind. I should grab some water. Yes, okay. And then even better, not only is the slime like a rare chance to appear, but it's also somewhat unique in its ranching and the way you have to deal with the ranching aspect of it. Yeah, eat the carrot. Give me a flutter plort, thank you. I can get rid of this then. Ranching with the as it's called, the Yolki slime is also fairly unique. And it doesn't work quite the same as any slime that we've had in the game up to this point. So this slime is really a good taste of something new, I suppose. Definitely getting an idea of how they're shaking up the formula with some new stuff. Unfortunately, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get one, because it does seem like it's just a random spawn chance from a hen's nest. So probably what I'll do is just hang around here for a while and try to get one. Open this pod. Oh, there's our third Sure Shot module. So as soon as I can actually afford them all, we'll have ourselves pretty well set for dealing with or capitalizing on gold slimes. Yeah, this isn't on my map. This isn't even a little bit on my map. My map doesn't go this far down. So I'm just gonna have to, well, it does. It's just completely covered by fog because I took the screenshot from the last version of the game before the Song of the Sabers update, so it looks like they've pulled back the fog and changed the effects of it. Like the effects on the fog are different. Didn't look like it had more solid borders before. Now it's more nebulous, which I like. It's a nice look. So I guess it would be somewhere around there. And that's about the best I can estimate, with it just being a particular spot inside of a void of white space on the map. That just leaves us with 2 treasure pods. That's all that's left. For this area, at least. So, if we could find one more before we call it a stream, that'll leave us with our 1-1-1 situation. We'll have one treasure pod left in the Starlight Strand, which we're at right now. We'll have one treasure pod left in the Ember Valley. And then we'll have one treasure pod at the conservatory itself. So that'll be interesting, trying to find the last treasure pod in 3 different areas. Should be fun. You know, in that lose your mind kind of way. All right, so we do have one more area that we. Oh, hang on. Oh, that's a lucky slime. Oh, it ate some food, so I got some money just from being here. Happy to be here. Happy to be here. Grab some more honey while I'm in the area. So we haven't checked up here yet. Can't remember if there is a treasure pod that we already marked up here or not. Let me check the map. Let me consult my handy dandy map for just such an occasion. Let's see, it's right. We do have something marked here, but it's a little further back, so I think it's up there that we haven't marked. Yeah, like up here. Yeah, there, right there. Yeah, this treasure pod isn't very easy to get to. So it's not necessarily that all the treasure pods will be easy to get to, but there are puddle slimes up here and resources and things like that to let me know that this is like an intentional game area, a place that I'm, you know, supposed to be hanging out and looking for things. Let's see, there's also one in the caves, it looks like. We're not gonna go in the cave just yet. I want to float around out here. Check over here. Yep. This is a place where there wasn't one, but there totally should be one, and there is one. Hey. A mossy hen statue. This moss-covered statue depicts the most serene hen in existence. Or existence. I don't know how you rationalize the spelling on that, but hey, 27 out of 28, so we've got one treasure pod to find here, Ember Valley, and Conservatory. Let me just mark this on the map. All right. Oh boy, we've got ourselves a 1-1-1 situation. Exactly what I was hoping for. Wouldn't have it any other way. Now the question is, where's the last one? It's always the question, where's the last one? So let's see, we haven't been in this cave recently. But I do know of a treasure pod location in here. I believe it's back behind a corner somewhere in one of these caves. Here it is. This is the one I was looking at right there. Okay. Taking a look at the map. We could run through this beachside area, because I didn't look through there super thoroughly when I was going through here last stream. I didn't come through very carefully. So I came in through here. Okay. So let's just take our time and take a nice little casual stroll down the beach. And by casual stroll, I mean jetpacking around the edges of things to look underneath them. Because who knows where these devils have hidden these things. Could be just about anywhere. Could be one over on this island, right over here. Could be right around the corner and you'd never even know it unless you went to check. But there isn't. There's just some resources. Resources are nice. Resources are good. Definitely helpful. Not what I'm looking for right now. Like I said, I can grab resources any old time. What we're looking for is shining, shimmering, and may or may not be splendid. Have this one marked. There should be one in the under area that's right there. Yeah, okay, there's under areas. We got that one. Let's see. I'm just trying to remind myself of like visually where the other ones are all located. There's one over here somewhere. I think it's further above me. Where is it? I have one marked like right here. Trying to remember where it is. And this area is pretty empty of markings. Can't remember where this leads. Just leads down, I suppose. Where was that one that I have marked on the map, but I don't see? I don't think I'm supposed to see the bottom of these models. You know, I was gonna say I was gonna let that one slide, but I'm not. Let me just save this as Slime Rancher 2 exposed coral model. We'll add that to the list of screenshots. And then what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to take the screenshot of the location. And I'm going to save it so that I can actually remember where this is. Because I have this invisible collision spot screenshot, but I don't know where it is because I didn't save an actual screenshot of like the map where this is. So I'm just gonna add a location one. There we go. Okay, let's keep looking. There is a treasure pod somewhere in this vicinity that I had marked. But I can't remember exactly where it is. It is like right in there. That's where the marking is. I'm having some serious trouble finding it. I just want to visually remind myself of where it is. It's like literally the circle is right here. And I don't understand where it is. Oh, ooh, ooh, Yoki boy. Oh, Yoki boy. The Vax are calling. There we go. We got ourselves one. Good thing I just happened to see that thing. Okay, we have one. All right. So now that we have a Yoki slime, by sheer luck, now I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with it. Because from what I was looking at, trying to figure out where to actually look for this thing, it says you're supposed to keep it with hens. You're supposed to keep it with some hens. And then there is a chance of some type of resource showing up. Do you think that because this is an egg slime, and because there's the whole, they reference sunny side up thing, do you think that the yolk slime is how we get sun sap? Do you think that's how we get sun sap? If this slime is how we get sun sap, I will be amazed, because that'll be the first time that we have a slime that gives us a resource other than plorts. That would basically be like if the rad slimes in Slime Rancher 1 gave us uranium as a resource. That's what it would be like. Oh, there's the slime statue up here. I didn't expect there to be a statue this far up. This is like way out of the way. I guess maybe some resources can spawn in this, like some hives can spawn on this tree. I have no idea. Yeah, let's keep going down. Let's keep going down the beach here. We haven't gone quite the whole way yet. We have that one marked. I'm gonna assume that the marking in that little pass must be from the underside, because otherwise I don't understand why I would have made a marking there. It just wouldn't make sense for me to have made a marking there without there being a treasure pod. I would not have done that. So there's this area. This is that one. I understand that. That makes enough sense to me. Oh, this one. That's where it is. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I figured it would have to be in some sort of underground area. That wouldn't be a terrible spot for a treasure pod. Since there's other ones so close by, I feel like it's unlikely. Not impossible, just unlikely. Okay, let me get up here. Let me switch off of the Yoki slime so we don't have any scrambled egg accidents or anything. Get up here, need to recharge. Let me scroll my map a little bit so I can see better. Try to keep it roughly the same size so I can... Because yeah, most of this beach, there's not really a lot of markings. Oh. Oh, you can tell when we get close to the experimental chicken zone, because the frame rate just dips noticeably. Now, I could fix that. I could just get rid of the chickens in that area because that is a place they naturally spawn. It's just that there aren't many slimes up there to kind of naturally cull the numbers. Plus, that area is unloaded until you're pretty close to it. So while you're gone, I think more chickens are just kind of queued up to spawn there up to a certain point. So then you just have a lot of chickens all ready to spawn into existence at once. All right, so we marked that one. I'm not really sure where else to look right off the bat, because I do have to wrap up here in just a bit. But before we sign off for today, I do want to look and see if I can find the I want to find out how you actually get sun sap. I'm curious. Since I already looked and found the stuff about the Yoki slime, I am curious where you get sun sap. Because maybe you get it from the Yoki slime. Maybe you do. But I have no idea. So let's head back. I'm not going to worry about doing upkeep right now, just because we're going to be wrapping up anyway. Let's take a look. Yeah, I'm going to need to do upkeep. Now let's check our messages. Oh, Victor, I haven't heard from you in a while. Oh, attention flag. Well, thank you. That'll be interesting. I wonder if I'll find a good place for that. Hello, human person. Yoki. Yoki plus chickens equals chicky chicky. Oh. Yoki doki? Oh, so Bob gives you a little hint on how to actually deal with them. That's cool. That is nice that they give you that hint. Cause yeah, I don't know if it would be immediately obvious that you would want to keep the Yoki slime with chickens, especially if you didn't know where it came from. You could kind of infer it, but it's good that they have that little extra nudge. I think that's a good idea on their part. So maybe what I'll do is, since I'm gonna have the Thundercluck hens set up over there in addition to the ones that are in the standard chicken area, just to keep up with the ringtail's appetite, maybe we keep the Yoki hen in there, or the Yoki slime in there with the Thundercluck hens over there. That way it's kind of like separate from all of the other chickens, but it can still be with chickens. And we can give that a try moving forward. Let me put this nectar away. We finally got halfway to filling up this silo slot with nectar. Good stuff. Look at him. Yoki slime. It's got the same kind of... It's crazy that it sounds like a fried egg. Like, how does a slime sound like a fried egg? That's impressive sound design. But yeah, we'll check that guy out next time, because I don't want to experiment with him too much between streams and accidentally find things out with him. Because who knows? Who knows? I am still curious about the sun sap though. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. Let's see. Interesting. So it does grow in the Powderfall Bluffs, and it does grow in a place that I would have suspected it would. I guess I just haven't found the spawn places for them yet. Let's go take a quick look. Let's just go Powderfall Bluffs real quick and see if we can spot any. Just real quick. Just a real quick little pop over to the area in question. Should be right over here. So yeah, it should be according to, let's see, at the, oh, it only grows at daytime. So that's one thing, is it only grows during the daytime. So gotta keep that in mind. So this area really is like doubly time-based. Because it's like, not only do these light bridges only show up at night, the resource only grows during the daytime. Interesting. We'll have to check that out next time then, because the upkeep on these guys is already going to be enough. It's already going to be enough to work with without adding on more time to that. Yes, Bless, we did. You won. Awesome. Congratulations. Yes, we did find our redacted slime. So it is apparently, I did spoil myself on what it was. I did end up looking it up just because we were so close to the end of the stream and I kind of wanted to see what it was. Yoki Slime. Yoki Slime. Check them out. So with this guy, apparently Bob over here at the communication center, being very in tune with chickens as he is, gave us a little bit of a hint that we should keep the Yoki Slime with chickens. So basically, the Yoki Slime has a chance of spawning at the hen nests out in the wild. So just the nests where chickens can spawn from. It also has a chance to spawn from those. And you're supposed to keep this slime in a coop with other chickens, and something will happen, maybe. It's implied that I'm supposed to keep it with other chickens, so since I'm planning to make a Thundercluck hen coop in the area over where the ringtail saber largo is, where I have the 3 incinerators set up right now. Since I want to take that fruit tree, turn it into a coop anyway, I'm probably going to put the Yoki Slime in there and just see what happens. That's something that we'll experience next time, because I don't want to accidentally spoil whatever happens whenever the Yoki slimes with chickens for extended periods of time. I still want that to be a surprise. I just didn't know whether we were gonna ever find the slime this time around. We did find a few treasure pods, and I think you will be as delighted as I am with the outcome of how many treasure pods we have left to find. So, here's our final total. I have everything marked on the maps by now. So everything that we've already found treasure pod wise, it's all marked on maps. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. I tracked down the ones that were not marked for whatever reason. So we do still have more treasure pods to find. So our final total of what we need to find is we need to find the one treasure pod here at the conservatory. Still haven't found it. We've got one treasure pod left to find in the Ember Valley. Couldn't quite track it down. And we have one treasure pod left to find in the Starlight Strand, as large of an area as it is. We did find 3 of the 4 that were added, so that was good that we found those. But yeah, so now we have 3 areas where we only have 1 treasure pod left to find. And Starlight Strand, I'm willing to give it a little bit of wiggle room because we did find 3 other ones. So we didn't really get a super good look at everything in that area like we have with the other 2. But oh boy, the next stream is going to be an interesting one. Because we have 3 potentially very difficult to find treasure pods left. It might take us the whole stream, depending on how much assistance we get in the process of searching. But yeah, their hiding spots are definitely, they're not joking around. They've got some pretty decent spots picked out for these. We're not gonna just stumble across them. So yeah, I might end up needing your help again in the hints department on the next time we go about this, because you would think with as small of an area as the conservatory is, comparatively speaking to like every other area, particularly the gigantic Starlight Strand, this place is huge. I still couldn't find it though. Kind of interesting. It's also interesting now that you can actually see where all of the different plot locations are. So you can see like where you can have things set up. I wonder if at some point they'll have little indicators to show what they are, and these are just placeholders, or if they're always going to be these gray squares. Good for logistical planning though. And you could always just take screenshots of this and add your own icons for reference. So that works too. But yeah, that is where we're gonna have to call it for today, because I've already kind of exhausted my scavenging power for today. But hey, we did manage to find some treasure pods, so that's good. And we've done a pretty decent job of looking through the other areas, so at least we can pretty confidently say that wherever they have these treasure pods hidden, it's definitely not like directly out in the open. They're definitely got it tucked away somewhere. They've got these things tucked away somewhere pretty specific. So, how long it's gonna take for us to find them? Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that will be it for me for today. So we will come back to more treasure pod hunting next time. I don't know how long it's gonna take us, but we'll find out. Eventually we'll find out how much time it takes. Because hoo boy. These treasure pod hiding spots are no slouch. That's for sure. Well, I guess that's it then. Nothing else for me to really say about it. Check out our Yoki slime interactions next time. We will check out harvesting sun sap the next time. We'll try to find these treasure pods. And yeah, they're definitely upping the hide and seek. I think they used their more obvious locations first. And they are slowly ramping up the difficulty for the slowly ramping up the difficulty with the updated ones. So yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time, I'm terrified. Absolutely petrified. Just thinking about how long it might take, but it'll be an adventure that we share together. So thank you all for being here and hanging out. I always appreciate everyone for stopping by and just being a part of the journeys that we undertake together. We're gonna have a heck of a journey next time, that's for sure. Doing more scrounging for treasure pods. Absolutely gonna melt my brain in the best way. But that'll be next time. So until the next stream, take care everyone.